Welcome in to the Jordy Culotta Show live on this Tuesday morning in a jam-packed UDL here. Live from the undisclosed location. Noah is here. Jack is here. Lloyd is here. Katie is here. Jam-packed show this morning. We're going to talk to Jay Cicero of the Greater New Orleans Sports Association. They've got an incredible giveaway.
Incredible.
Coming up. I mean,
oh my God, y'all are crazy if you don't buy
the giveaway of all giveaways. Hopefully they don't get COVIDed out here.
Was all that stuff one giveaway?
Yes.
One giveaway.
Oh,
That was the
giveaway?
$100 ticket.
One giveaway.
It's
You guys
like
have to
over
really want the
300
ticket.
tickets.
It does.
It's amazing.
New Orleans Saints 2021 regular season home games. New Orleans Pelicans regular season home games. LSU regular season home games. LSU men's basketball season home games. LSU baseball. Tulane Green Wave football. Green Wave basketball. Green Wave baseball. UNO basketball. UNO baseball. 2022 NOLA Gold Rugby regular season games. The R+L Carriers Dome Bowl. New Orleans Bowl VIP pass. All-State Sugar Bowl ticket.
What?
2022 Jerit Classic 4-day
What?
VIP
Yeah,
pass.
Lloyd.
That would be excellent.
I mean,
4-day VIP pass.
I
bro,
would make it today too.
that is one giveaway
That's for one winner?
from the ticket
Yes.
raffle.
Be a shame if I won it.
The New Orleans Sports Association. Jay Cicero, the president of that organization, will stop by here at 7:30. We will talk LSU football. We will talk camp. We will talk recruiting with Tiger Details' Jerit Roser coming up at the end of hour number one. Then at 8 o'clock this morning, we will talk to William Wade, the head basketball coach of LSU, as we'll get his thoughts on Cameron Thomas making his NBA debut, summer league debut, as he had 17, 10 in the fourth last night. Slow start for Cam, but he got going late in the game. We'll ask Coach what he thinks about the fit for Cam. Some of the guys like Javonte Smart down in Miami, Trendon Watford up in Portland, and then on his guys getting ready for fall camp set to start here in just about a month and a half, as basketball will be on us here in October as the guys will start practicing and then get ready for the season coming up in November. We will talk to head coach Will Wade coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning here on the Jordy Culotta Show. So good to have you out there. Before we jump into everything, let's give a shout out to our coffee, Majestic Coffee, DeliciousSips.com. Remember, you can get yours online, DeliciousSips.com. True Blue Water provides our water here in the UDL every single day. That's TRU, BlueWater.com. All of our phone guests, which are all of our guests this morning, Jay Cicero, Will Wade, and Jerit Roser, all compliments of Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. And then, of course, our spice is Papa Earl's. Shout out to Papa Earl's, as you can get them locally here at High Neighbor, Calvin's, any of your local grocery stores here in the greater Baton Rouge area, and also coming to A-Bear Specialty Meats here very
Something to
soon.
do with
Yes.
You think?
We're moving and shaking behind the scenes
He's
here.
the kingmaker.
All right, so we'll talk some LSU football coming up in the end of hour number one with Jerit Roser, and looking forward to getting his thoughts. As yesterday, camp was moved inside because of the weather, so no reports, no media coming out from yesterday's workout that was inside over at the LSU practice facility. We'll start today, I guess, where we started yesterday, and that was with the New Orleans Saints. More bad news for the Saints, which is,
Bad news bears.
golly, it's incredible, man, to say what the Saints have gone through here before they've even really gotten to the meat. I mean, they hadn't even made a cut yet. They hadn't even gotten to the first preseason game, and they've got all types of stories all over the place. I mean, the Mike Thomas situation alone is enough for an offseason to really kind of get you set for this. I mean, just kind of get football here as fast as possible, because you got a rattled superstar, somebody that seems like almost a malcontent at this point. And then you've also got other stories, right? Like David Onyemata and some of the injuries. Now a big injury pops up here in training camp. Will Lutz is going to be out. Some people have him out almost 12 weeks.
And it's a groin thing. It's
Big nuts Lutz,
Big
baby.
nuts Lutz. Yeah, he's been carrying that weight around. He's been on. It seems like it's another one of those situations where they didn't know if they wanted to get surgery or not, and he tried to time it out to where he could rehab, and it flared up again in camp.
Yeah, I mean, he was dealing with this like in December, right? I mean, like, this is an injury that has kind of haunted him, and here the Saints are in the same situation almost, I mean, like when you just kind of outside looking in, if you look at this scenario, it feels very much like the Mike Thomas situation. But then Will Lutz yesterday gets the news that he's going to be out for an extended time after having to have surgery. He did tweet this out, and I was kind of wondering, was this a shot at Mike Thomas? His tweet yesterday when talking about the great medical staff with the New Orleans Saints.
Total shot.
Had given him an
Yeah.
evaluation and even gone for a second opinion, but that they had decided on surgery and that he trusts his team and can't wait to be back.
It totally has to
I mean,
be.
like,
Total
it was
shot. From a kicker to your best player on the team
unreal.
now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I like
I
it.
found out that my training camp will be cut short due to an injury that had progressively worsened after talking with our excellent medical team and training staff, as well as a second opinion from a specialist. We've decided it's in our best interest to get this fixed now in order to miss the least amount of time possible. Thank you for all of your thoughts and prayers. I love the game of football, so sitting won't be easy, but I look forward to attacking rehab and coming back healthier and stronger to help this team win. Who dat?
Who dat?
Was that a shot at Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Was
Has
it?
to be. I mean, he
Yeah.
knows what's going on in the media right now. He's not like he saw everything that's played out exactly how it's played out for him. He'd be ignorant to not know saying that would cause ripples.
Was that tweet before or after, though, Thomas's tweet about
After. It
damaging
was
your
yesterday.
reputation?
The number one
Is
tweet
it-
response is someone, quote, after talking with our excellent medical staff, CC can't guard Mike. That's the number one reply
Yeah.
tweet.
I mean, it's.
I mean, that's the only thing he didn't do.
Yeah.
Is just at can't guard Mike. He would have deleted his Twitter, I guess, again.
I hate this guy.
Sean Payton responded yesterday. He was asked about Mike Thomas's, cryptic tweet that he sent 2 days. I guess it's not cryptic though. I mean, there's really no.
It's pretty
I mean,
straightforward.
yeah, it's
they
very
tried to
straightforward.
damage your reputation. You saved theirs by not telling your side of the story.
So
Yeah,
Payton
but he
was
put
asked.
it out in Comic Sans.
Yeah, he did.
That's
He
not,
did.
you got up your font game there a little bit.
Yeah.
Dan Gilbert got in trouble for that too. He just can't take it seriously.
Payton
Comic
responded
Sans.
in saying, "I don't want to have a press conference based on social media." When asked about the question yesterday specifically, this is blowing up. I mean, this is becoming drama. This is becoming everything that Sean Payton hates about football, about media, about press conferences, about everything that goes to the ancillary stuff of the game. He's about to blow a gasket.
Oh, he's fuming,
he is
dude.
throwing stuff
Sean
in his
Payton,
office.
No.
Hear it out.
Yeah, he is kicking and screaming. He's throwing temper tantrums.
Get him on the phone. Call him
Absolutely.
again.
Just-
Jordy with the 3 call.
I mean, text him again.
Text him again.
Call him from your phone.
The only saving grace for the Saints may be that Hard Knock starts tonight, so maybe that'll take some of the pressure off, like NFL coverage. It'll kind of change what people are looking at, because people are fiending for NFL football, for football in general right now, because
Drama.
it seemed so close. So this one they latch on to storylines like Michael Thomas's contract, Dak's shoulder. They're starting to talk about him again. So hopefully Hard Knocks placate some of this.
I hear you, but this is a huge story.
It is. It's not going anywhere.
This is a big story. This is a big story in the league. This is a big story, obviously, for the NFC. And, I mean, you're talking about somebody that is not looking for their contract. And I'm not making this about the money, but a lot of the times, sport at this level is about the paid and the unpaid, right? When you look at stories like this, and you would see somebody like Mike Thomas who's trying to get some attention, or he's trying to gain just to bring some attention to himself, is usually because he's in a contract year. He's trying to make some type of move. He's trying to, throw a flare into the air of, hey, I'm here. I'm doing work, or I'm not doing work. Whatever the attention he's trying to grab, this stuff just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it just doesn't make sense from the sense of, like yesterday we were talking. He's paid. He's the highest paid wide receiver in the league. I mean, as far as the respect goes, which is a lot of what these guys routinely are looking for, is to be respected for what they give you in their body. They want to be repaid back financially, and Mike Thomas has accomplished that. And since then, it feels like it has been not one thing after the other, but it feels like the relationship, rather than being bound, tighter, it feels like they have, gotten a lot of space in between. It feels like they are very far apart as far as their relationship goes. It feels like they're not on the same page. It feels like they can't agree on a lot of stuff. And now they're answering questions publicly that are aimed at one. A lot of that stuff needs to be figured out between the organization and the player. And now the organization is being asked questions about the player in public and asking for responses. It just every single day with this Mike Thomas situation, it gets worse. I got to imagine behind the scenes that Sean Payton is trying to move him. I know that there is value, and there is the return on this for the Saints would probably be a loss when you look at what you would have to get in return.
$32 million
to give him up. Yeah, the dead money alone.
The dead money, especially with the cap that the Saints are in right now, is just a brutal hit. And then I did some sleuthing of what Michael Thomas has been going through on Twitter, and I went through his liked tweets, and this is one of the first ones that he liked. It's from Jordan Schultz. Michael Thomas got hurt during week 1 during garbage time when the Saints should have protected their investment. The medical staff then cleared him several times during the regular season and agreed to hold off on surgery. So Thomas waited to have surgery, and yet it's his fault. So that's one that Michael Thomas likes. So it's definitely he's at odds with the medical staff and how they treated him and tried to seemingly force him to play whenever he thought he shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, but I recall Mike Thomas last season stating that he was going to, saddle up for Drew Brees' last
ride.
I remember him publicly stating that. So, look, I'm not here to go back and forth in between who's right, who's wrong on the franchise and the player in this sense, because there's probably a lot of the stuff behind the scenes that we don't know. But just from the outside looking in, when you routinely see these back and forths between one of a star player and a franchise, this is usually done over money and over respect. That's usually why these things flare up and bubble over into the public. This is an outlier because this player has his money, has been respected, and it seems like the relationship between the organization and Thomas have always been pretty strong. Now, last summer, that was the first time that there was any sign of discontent. But to get to this level, going into the season, after all of the stuff that has happened up to this point, just publicly, and I'm just talking about by the style of play on the field, the numbers that have been put up, the money that has been paid, the relationship in what it seems like it looks like from the outside looking in, to get to this point, I don't know how
you salvage it.
Yeah, I don't know how you get back to where it was. I find that I think that you could probably find a working relationship, just because Mike Thomas makes you a significantly better football team when he's on it, and he's right and he's healthy. You're not as good as you could be without him, right? So I think I don't think Sean Payton understands that. He knows that. So can they get to a point where they have a functioning, working relationship? Maybe, but it seems like every single day is something new.
It's on Mike.
If you're the Saints coaching staff or front office, how long do you wait if you feel like you? Because when you talk about moving Michael Thomas and the dead money, it becomes almost not worth it. So how long would you wait and kind of placate and be like, look, Mike, whatever you need to do to get back and get right for the Saints, you can do it. Take all the time you need. Like 4 weeks into the season, 6 weeks. And then you start to think, well, if the season's a wash, do you not just wait for next year when there's rumblings of Aaron Rodgers? Like, look, Mike, we're bringing in A-Rod. You can come back healthy. We'll just call this season what it was. Come back and we'll restart.
I think they're shopping him right now.
I just don't think it's worth it.
Well, I think that they're trying to find out what they can get. I'm not saying that they're moving him on the first phone call that they receive, but I think out of the public, off of the ticker. You know what I mean? Outside of that, off of Twitter, behind the scenes, they're probably working the phones. And they're probably calling teams that could use a wide receiver. They're probably calling teams that have, in the past, shown that they're not as savvy as trade partners as there is in the NFL. Somebody that you may be able to get one across, just that, somebody might fall in love with his name.
Texans.
I was about to say, just keep calling the Texans over and over and
David
over
Johnson.
again.
Jaguars. Somebody that needs to sell tickets, who has, a young quarterback who looking for a wide receiver. when Mike Thomas is on, and he's right, I think he's the best wide receiver in the league. But, I mean, at what point do you say, man, I mean, look, you got your money, and
What more do you want?
He's the crazy hot girlfriend.
He is a little. He's a little active out there. But even if you try to trade him, you're still going. The team that gets him is still going through the same malcontent process of you have to wait 4 weeks into the season to use him.
Yeah.
So his trade value just isn't high.
at this point it's not. But I'm stating that you're still working the phones to see if anybody out there, still remembers Mike Thomas for who he is. You know what I mean? And you could maybe get one across because, in my opinion, the Saints and Peyton have to be running. They got to be running up to their limit here on Mike Thomas. I mean, every single day is something new. And I mean, the solution that the Saints could have, the trump card that they could throw, they've already done. They've paid him. You know what I mean? Like, what else do you want from the franchise? They've maxed you out. They've given you as much money as they possibly can. They want to feature you in the offense. You really were probably going to be one of the key pieces to transitioning this new quarterback into a comfort level that makes him, confident in playing in the system. And none of that is working out. And the whole time you're in the public spewing poison. It's like you're not happy. What do you want?
The engagement ring doesn't get any bigger than the one you got. That's the biggest one you can get.
What do you want?
He doesn't know what he wants.
I don't know. I think we're going to hear more. I think he's going to leak other things out.
Well, he should. Mm-hmm. I think that if he has a motive here,
Clearly.
now's the time to put that into play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
There's not going to get more eyeballs than he has right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like, now's the time to play your pitch, man. I mean, what's it going to be? Because it looks like at this point, you're Antonio Brown 2.0. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's almost like you're causing stress and upheaval just to do it. Or say something. Like that was my deal yesterday. Like,
no, he said when he talks, it makes no sense. He tweets, "I'm one of the ones that wears the same clothes for a few days, but I'm grinding." And this guy legit doesn't speak English. And then his message: "They try to rid the damage of your reputation. You save theirs by not telling your side of the story. Like, just stop speaking in riddles. Tell me what's wrong."
Yeah, right.
Bro.
Like, I kind of get what you're trying to say, but if there's something you want to say, speak it. I think Sean Payton came out into the public and said that he thinks that the surgery should have happened before that. He was obviously, he was pissed off that it didn't happen earlier, and he said that. And we understand now where the Saints organization stand with Mike Thomas. They were monitoring an injury that they felt like that surgery should have happened at an earlier point. Now that it didn't, he's going to miss regular season time. He's one of the best players in the league. He's one of the best players at his position, and now you're going to be without him for a month. That aggravates the hell out of the head coach with the New Orleans Saints. Obviously so. And he said so publicly, which he usually doesn't do. He usually doesn't air out dirty laundry into the public. And he's done that over this situation. And Thomas has cryptic tweets to a point where I get I guess I understand what you're trying to say, like,
but he don't want to break up quite yet
right,
either.
Like you don't want to come out and say because they're doing all the talking, but they're damaging your reputation, and you don't want to say anything because you want to be kind of a loyal soldier. To hell with that. If you got something to say it. Speak it. Otherwise, this is the stuff that's going to be swirling around this conversation. What is it? What's he mean? What's he trying to say? What's the status of the relationship? Is Peyton going to deal him? Is Thomas on the trade block? Who knows? Who knows? But every single day, it's something else. It's something else.
It's strange.
It's
There's
weird.
Something more to it.
Do you think if Drew Brees was healthy and back for this year, that this is even just like a talking point? I think Sean Payton's so stressed about having to usher in a new era of quarterback, even if it is for 1 year. But he wanted his guy, like a staple of the offense that he could rely on, to go, all right, at least have Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. But now that he doesn't have Michael Thomas, he's like, this is putting another pound of stress on me to where I don't know how to game plan quite yet. I don't even know who my quarterback is. Like, I don't need this shit right now. Like, can you just, like, do whatever you need to do, but don't drag it into the media. Like, I'm trying to get my team right, and if you want to be a part of it, fine. Come back whenever. But I think he's so stressed out about not having a quarterback figured out because this is uncharted territory for him.
I would think so. I would think that there was definitely a piece to that. There has to be some sense that he was selling to the future quarterback, or at least game planning the offense around Mike Thomas and Alvin Kamara. And now come to find out, you don't have him either. You know what I mean? Like you're dealing without Drew Brees, and now you don't have Mike Thomas. I mean, where are you going to go?
Latavius Murray.
What's Hogan's first name?
Chris.
I mean,
Lacrosse Chris.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, the accountant, Chris Hogan.
Dragged him out of the office.
I mean, like the real estate salesman, the insurance guy.
I mean, they're trying to push, too. Had a couple nice catches out there.
Yeah, right.
Like, well, good for him.
Exactly.
I hope he did.
Where'd he line up?
I mean, there's an opening in Ancient Athletes, too, for a wide receiver.
Oh, he's going to pull something.
I mean,
That's a ticking time bomb.
You go from Mike Thomas to Chris Hogan. It's just, as a play caller and as the head coach and as the architect of the offense, that's got to be stressing.
Right, right, because you knew Drew Brees could make it work with whatever. Like, that was his ability, as he could turn anybody into a star. You saw him do it with Jeremy Graham. You saw him do it with, when Jeremy Shockey came back. He's been able, Marcus Colston, he's been able to make these guys that aren't really superstars. So you could, bide your time with Drew Brees for 4 weeks.
And I think he squeezed more talent out of Mike Thomas than people really figured he had at this level. I mean, the production and numbers that Mike Thomas was putting up in the in his prime in those 2 years prior to being paid and the year after he was getting paid. I mean, I don't think people anticipated him being that
superstar.
Right, in the league.
He still did it with Taysom Hill whenever Drew Brees was out. He still and Teddy Bridgewater. He still put up numbers, but not to the same extent that he could do it with the Drew Brees or Drew Brees could do it without him. So it's just, I think that's a part of the level of stress to Sean Payton, why he's kind of taking it out on the media a little bit, because like, this is the last thing I need, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, let's work it out behind the scenes.
Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones brings you the Jordy Culotta Show every single day. Get in touch with Daniel Newman as he can help you out over there at Edward Jones. He's located over in central Louisiana in Magnolia Square out there across from Stab. Stop in and see Daniel Newman. You can email him. That's the easiest way to get in touch with him. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. If you work within the plants with Dow, BASF, any of the plants from around the area, stop in Daniel's office and ask him any questions that you may have about your financial security, and let him lead you on the way to financial independence, financial security, just financial confidence. Let Daniel Newman help you today. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. I'd imagine that Daniel will be tuned in at 8 a.m. this morning. Stick around. We will be talking LSU basketball with their head coach, Will Wade, who will stop by here in 30 minutes. We'll get the latest from Wade. We'll go on the next 30 minutes to straight guests. We'll talk to Jay Cicero from the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation about an incredible giveaway they have coming up at the end of the month. We'll also talk to him about some of the things on the horizon, like the 2022 NCAA Final Four, which will be back in New Orleans, and the 2025 Super Bowl will be down in New Orleans. A lot of that stuff originates out of Jay's office. We'll tell him about getting some of those, ask him about getting some of those events to South Louisiana and just what goes into that. 7:45, we'll talk to Jerit Roser from Tiger Details. He'll be here talking LSU football. We'll get Jerit's thoughts on the early parts of camp here. What's the Miles Brennan storyline make for LSU offensively? And we'll also get some recruiting updates from Roser before we get out of here at 8 a.m. And then the head basketball coach for the Tigers, Will Wade, will stop by at 8 a.m. this morning. So stick around. Go Chevrolet driving us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottaShow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottaShow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485 8022 225 485. 8022 is where you can find Hebert's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Stick around. We'll talk to Will Wade. We'll talk LSU football with Jerit Roser coming up here in 15 minutes. Daily, we're driven by Go Chevrolet. Check them out online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. One of the great foundations in our state is the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. They are missioned with bringing down and attracting sporting events that have positive economic impacts on the state of Louisiana and the Greater New Orleans area. Things like the 2022 NCAA Final Four, which will originate from the Big Easy. The 2025 Super Bowl will be there, and the college football playoff will be back in the next couple of years, as well as the New Orleans, in my opinion, the greatest host city for championships in the country. I mean, everything is so compact, whether it's restaurants, hotels, right there next to the Dome. You can walk all over the place, and obviously the tourist attractions speak for itself. Jay Cicero is the president of that organization, the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, which, in my opinion, has the greatest giveaway I have ever seen in a raffle.
Does.
I mean, like,
It's unbelievable.
this has to be the best giveaway I've ever seen. Jay is with us here this morning to talk about it and some of the stuff coming up in New Orleans and South Louisiana. Jay, thank you for your time. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jordy. Thanks for having me on. And I agree with you. New Orleans is the best place to host major events. No doubt about that.
Do other people see that when you sell it? I'd imagine that it's not that hard of a sell. Obviously, when you're going up against other cities, they're very prideful about their area. But I mean, I think when you just get down to the details, what makes New Orleans stand out, it's almost a non-competitive space.
It used to be like that, for sure. You could just really pitch New Orleans and really talk about all the great things about our city and our state, and they would love coming back anytime. It has now become a business proposition, and we have to be competitive financially with other cities across the country, and the competition gets even more fierce when you have new stadiums like Las Vegas and Los Angeles coming on board, and they're major competitors of New Orleans for these major events.
You have a Super Bowl. We have a Super Bowl. The state does, coming back to Louisiana in 2025. There's also been some key additions and upgrades to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, Caesar's Palace Superdome here lately. How crucial were those additions into getting that bid?
They're absolutely crucial to keeping the Superdome, the Caesar's Superdome, competitive with other facilities. Is an absolutely a large factor in the decision making for a major event. So again, it's just not coming to New Orleans that we have these great hotels, and we have the French Quarter and the nightlife and the fun city that is that everybody else really wants to have. It's the facility. It's the competitive financial bid. It's a business proposition now that has a number of different tentacles, including renovated and upgraded facilities that keep us in the game.
Jay, I want to get to your raffle here in a couple of minutes because it's incredible, the giveaway that you guys are offering down there with the Sports Foundation. But can you give me and the listeners just an idea of how competitive it is to bring events like a Super Bowl or a Final Four or college football playoff semifinal like the city will host over the next 5 years?
Well, the Sugar Bowl hosts the college football semifinals, and so that's under their umbrella. We partnered with them for the college football championship game a couple of years ago when our own LSU Tigers happened to win it in our backyard, which was, a gift like no other.
Sure.
But when we work with these owners of these events, and we've been doing this for 33 years now, it's our job to bid against other cities, and we're bidding against Tampa, Atlanta, Indianapolis, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Phoenix, and now again Las Vegas and Los Angeles for a lot of these major events that move around the country. So the processes usually last between 6 months and a year, and over that time period, you're required to not only answer a lot of questions and present a lot of information, but you're also asked to sharpen your pencil and put together the best financial bids you possibly can. Fortunately, we have the support of the state of Louisiana and many great companies in Louisiana. But, we're only 4.5 million people in the entire state. There's more people in Houston alone than in our entire state. There's more Fortune 500 companies in Houston alone than there is in our entire state. So in order to remain competitive, we've got to have organizations like ours working together with the state of Louisiana, the city of New Orleans, and our local business community to keep this to keep us competitive. So we really pride ourselves on reducing the expenses as much as we possibly can because of the resources and the experience that we have, as well as maximizing what these events bring as far as economic impact and media exposure to the state of Louisiana. It's what we do, and we've been doing it for 33 years now, and we take a lot of pride in it, and hopefully we can continue this train as long as we possibly can.
Jay, I know I asked you about the additions to the Superdome, and as you guys see some of the competitive spaces that you're going up against, a lot of these new arenas that are bidding for Super Bowls and beyond, how relevant do you see the Superdome? How key are these upgrades just to keep it a relevant space when you're talking about this new age competition of these palaces that are being built throughout our country for sporting events and entertainment purposes?
I think the Saints would absolutely agree with this, but it is of the utmost importance that the stadium facility is renovated not only for major events like we're talking about, but to keep the Saints competitive financially. The areas of new suites. There's a field level box suites that are going to be open this weekend for the not this weekend, but for the Saints preseason home opener. And those type things are revenue generators for the Saints, and they're also revenue generators for the major events that we host. So, that's part of the overall puzzle: is what does this facility, what does this city, what does this sports commission, what are they able to offer that beats or as competitive with these other major cities that have a lot of other resources that they can bring to the table?
Obviously, I've been very aware of your organization since covering sports now for over a decade. But I think there's probably a lot of people in our listening audience that may be introduced to you or just kind of learning some of the things that the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation does and just kind of the day-to-day activities. if you were looking for attention, one way to do that is creating a raffle and a buzz. You guys have maybe done the greatest giveaway I've ever seen, Jay. I mean, I know I speak in hyperbole here, and that is dangerous to do in the media, but I don't think that I've ever seen a giveaway that consists of just the entertainment value that you guys are raffling off at the end of August. Can you just give me an idea? And we went through it at the beginning of the show. The grand prize consists of New Orleans Saints regular season home game tickets, Pelicans regular season home game tickets, LSU football, basketball, baseball regular season home game tickets, Tulane basketball, baseball, football regular season tickets, UNO basketball and baseball tickets, 2022 NOLA Gold regular season tickets, the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl VIP pass, All-State Sugar Bowl tickets, and then Zurich Classic 4-day VIP pass. I mean, just a couple of these things isolated would be an incredible giveaway, but together, collectively, in my opinion, that is just an incredible opportunity for sports fans. Where did this come from? Where did this idea, where did it originate?
Well, we originated here a couple years ago. It's been done a couple places around the country, but not to the extent that we've included here. And we've called it the Premier Season Ticket Raffle. And not only is it's not just tickets to certain games, it's 2 season tickets for each one of those events of the entire home game season. So, and it's only a $100 raffle ticket. So for $100, you can win 2 tickets for all the home games for the Saints, Pelicans, LSU, Tulane, UNO, like you said. R+L Carriers, New Orleans Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Zurich Classic. This is an incredible value for only a $100 shot. And we're selling a limited amount of tickets. And again, it's called the Premier Season Ticket Raffle. And people can go to gnosports.com/win, gnosports.com/win to enter. Now, we had a winner 2 years ago. We didn't obviously have it last year. 2 years ago, we had a winner, a guy from Mandeville won, and he enjoyed as many of the tickets as he possibly could for last year's event, and so we're doing it again as a fundraiser for the organization. As you can imagine, again, we talked about how being competitive is extremely important. But to do this, we have to have significant financial resources, and part of that is fundraising events and fundraising efforts like we're talking about with the Premier Season Ticket Raffle.
Jay, you mentioned LSU making the national championship game when the college football playoff was hosting. You guys were hosting that event 2 seasons ago in 2019. You'll host the 2022 Final Four, and Will Wade's going to trot out a top 10 team here coming up this season. We'll talk to him in about 15 minutes. Can you explain, I mean, it seems obvious, but just from the numbers and from your desk, the advantage of LSU participating in a championship series event in New Orleans when you guys have the opportunity to host it? If LSU was to make the Final Four, what would be the impact?
Oh, it would be incredible. Believe it or not, the economic impact is actually a little bit lower than it would be if it were teams from out of town, because people aren't as traveling and airfare and hotels as much. But, you throw that all out the window when you talk about the LSU or a Tulane or UNO making a run at the Final Four in the home city, basically. So, that the excitement of that and the publicity surrounding that is incredible, and of course the pride in hosting these events and to have your own teams possibly participating is just a bonus. So we love it, and the ability for LSU or any other Louisiana team to make it would be an incredible run for sure.
GNOsports.com. That is GreaterNewOrleansSports.com. GNOsports.com is how you get caught up with everything that's happening with the organization. You can get your raffle ticket. As the president, Jay Cicero, just stated, there is a limited amount available, and they are flying through them. So make sure you get over to GNOsports.com to get your opportunity today. Only $100 for what is probably the best sports giveaway our state has seen, and that is compliments of the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, which is tasked to bringing events down to Louisiana that has economic impacts and has interest from sports fan, like the 2022 Final Four and the Super Bowl coming up in 2025. Thank you for your time this morning. I know you're very busy. Thank you for the insight, Jay. We'll touch again. We'll touch base soon again, and if we can do anything to help, please let us know.
Thank you, Jordy. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. There is Jay Cicero checking in this morning from New Orleans, from the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, as daily here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We're brought to you by AdvantaClean, ADVANTA clean.com. Get in touch with my friend Bradley Lynch if you got any type of water, fire, or mold problems around your office or house. Get in touch with him this morning. Easy to do online at AdvantaClean.com. This is personal testimony here from the Jordy Culotta Show. They have helped us out tremendously. Let them help you out if you've got water, fire, or mold damage. Look him up online at AdvantaClean.com. When we come back, we'll talk some LSU football. Jerit Roser of Tiger Details will stop in. We'll get his thoughts on the quarterback race. We'll get his thoughts on some of the competition that's happening around the field. We'll get his thoughts on some of the new coming wide receivers and some recruiting. So a lot to get to with Roser when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Good stuff from Jay Cicero, president down at the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation.
Look like a president.
Log on, yes. Log on, gnosports.com. Got that Italian CEO name.
Yes.
Jay Cicero.
I mean, his whole image was very put together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm down in Cicero's office.
Oh, God.
And you got a couple tickets.
That's right. How about Cuomo's defense?
Italian.
Yeah, I'm Italian. I'm not a pervert. Huh?
I do it to everyone.
Enough with you, Andrew.
The people. You know the people.
Jerit Roser covers the Tigers, covers recruiting, does a fantastic job. If you've seen it, it is Louisiana versus all y'all is his brand. He's done an incredible job of growing that. He is on Twitter at Jerit Roser, good friend of the show. Good morning, man. How are you?
I'm doing well this morning, man. How are y'all over there?
Doing good. Doing good. When you caught the news last week that Miles Brennan had suffered an off-the-field injury, what were your first thoughts for him personally, and then the football storyline to it?
Yeah, I think the first reaction for most, if not all of us, was just kind of feeling bad for Miles, a guy who's waited so long for his opportunity at LSU, waited out the Joe Burrow era, and seemed like it was finally his time last year in the middle of everything else that was going on. And then 3 weeks into that abridged season during COVID, he suffers that injury up at Missouri and has difficult time getting back from that. It ended up being obviously a really strange injury and rehab process to go through that I'm I'm sure was incredibly frustrating for him at that point, and then feels like he's back healthy and ready to go and entering fall in this quarterback competition with Max Johnson. And before he even gets a chance to open camp and let that battle, reach its full fruition, he suffers an injury away from football. And so it's just kind of been one thing after another for him. Really tough luck for a guy that has prioritized LSU, and it's meant so much for him to be a part of this program, and keeps having these hurdles get in his way. And then on the LSU side of things, you suddenly take away the veteran presence from that quarterback room, and you have a second-year guy in Max Johnson and a true freshman in Garrett Nussmeier as your only two scholarship quarterbacks, and go from maybe the deepest quarterback room that program's had in the spring when those three guys and TJ Finley were all on campus to now just two scholarship quarterbacks available at the moment, with your immediate backup being a true freshman.
Julie Boudouin tweeted out yesterday her opportunity. She was over there getting some player interviews. And Austin Deculus, who had much respect and a lot of love for Miles Brennan, also said that it has benefited Max to getting every first-team rep. What have you seen from Max Johnson? What have you heard about Johnson in the offseason? What do you anticipate him doing with this opportunity now that he is QB1 heading into the season for LSU?
Yeah, Max really, no pun intended, maximized his opportunities to work with a lot of his receivers throughout the offseason. It was a really big offseason in terms of just having a full-fledged, spring and summer back after the way last year went. You can hear with any of these guys that you talk to their increased level of confidence just to be back to a closer to normalcy, and the work that they were all able to get in this offseason as opposed to last. And even in some of those weeks where they weren't together as a team, I saw Max at some workout opportunities with Coy Moore and Ty Davis-Price and John Emery and Jack Besh and some of the guys that would get together on their own, around Baton Rouge and even down in New Orleans, and continue to work that chemistry and timing and all of those things. And that's been something you've heard a lot the last week or so too, is on top of everything that the Tigers are doing, kicking off camp as a team, you're seeing a lot of extra time that Max and company are putting in and really working that chemistry and timing. And it sounds somewhat reminiscent of that summer that we heard before the 2019 season, where there was the summer of 10,000 balls for each of those receivers, and the amount of extra time that guys in all position groups were really putting in. That's something that you're kind of hearing some similarities with Max and his receiving core right now.
Who do you expect the number 2 wide receiver to be on this team?
That's a great question. Coy Moore and Jerit Jenkins were two that kind of stood out to me coming into the offseason. And I'm really interested to see how this camp goes as well, because I knew that the freshman group was going to come in and really battle and set themselves up for some early opportunities. And some of the reviews of those guys, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Malik Neighbors, Deion Smith, and then you have Jack Besh, the kind of hybrid receiver, playing more tight end now with some of the developments at that position. You're hearing some great things about all of those guys. And so as much as my expectations were already pretty high for that group, I'm interested to see just how quickly they can make strides in camp and set themselves up to be guys right off the bat.
Yeah, they all play, right? After a while, I've only seen them for 25 minutes out there, one media session, and I thought when I was leaving, they're all going to get reps this year.
Yeah, I think so. They're all really good-looking football players from just, a pure athleticism standpoint. Yeah. But the mentality that they all bring is something that I think, and going back to when we were still including Jack in that wide receiver group, there's a toughness and a competitiveness and a maturity in most of those guys that I think is something that ends up setting apart the the true freshmen that come in and play quickly versus some that take a little while before it starts to click. And people know Brian Thomas and Chris Hilton, and I think have gotten a sense of Deion Smith as the top-rated guy out of Mississippi, and just some of the things that they were able to do. But I think Jack and Malik Neighbors, from a recruiting standpoint, went a little bit more under the radar. But those two guys were two that I think bring so much of that intangible kind of piece of it that I knew that they were going to be right there in that mix too. And you're seeing all of it. I mean, we're still just a few days into camp, but to hear some of the praise, Malik Neighbors was one of the first names out of O's mouth in his first press conference Friday. You've heard that continue. Jack, is going to be called upon really quickly with now just Cole Taylor as kind of the lead scholarship guy at that position with Eric Gilbert back in Georgia. Nick Storrs now out with a medical issue. And then you heard a lot from Kayshawn and company yesterday about Brian Thomas and Chris Hilton and Deion Smith as well.
Savion Jones is a name that I just keep hearing. Recruiting, you're always down in the St. James area. You cover it as good as anybody. You've got relationships with all these guys. Is he somebody we should expect to have an immediate impact, even at a line and at a position that is experiencing great depth right now?
Yeah, I think he's going to be one to watch on the edge. He's a guy that was kind of a freak athlete down at St. James, and as Coach Valdez says, beautiful downtown Vacherie, Louisiana. And, I mean, his ability to move at his size, just his fluidity as well as his speed getting out there. They had a little bit of a combine event last offseason, try and get some times and things out with the way that the offseason went and shutting down the camp circuit and all those things. And Savion was out there running as well in kind of, I'm trying to remember what time he ended up running, but he was down around high 4.5s is what they were clocking him at. And so it may have been a little favorable of a stopwatch with his high school coaches running it, but it was his track coaches who were pretty serious about it. And so I don't think he was far off from that time. And so to see a guy move like that and then watch him get into to that strength and conditioning program with Coach Moffitt and company, and watch him go from a freak athlete at the high school level to very quickly looking the part of a college football player, I'm really intrigued to see him as a name that's been, a little bit more under the radar compared to a Mason Smith or a Sage Ryan or a couple of other guys. Yeah. But I thought he's one of the best players in this class long term, and we'll probably see some of that quickly as well.
At Jerit Roser is where you follow him on Twitter. Jerit Roser covers LSU recruiting and Louisiana sports, really, for Tiger details and more. Get in touch with him on Twitter at Jerit Roser. Give me one on this recruiting class. The story on Jacoby Matthews. What do you expect from his recruitment here now, coming down the stretch, going towards December?
Sure. Caught some folks off guard with his decommitment those last couple of days of July. But I think LSU remains in a good spot with him. They'll have to battle Texas A&M, and I think some of the other SEC schools will continue to see if there is a true opening there to possibly swing him to heading elsewhere. But LSU has been there for a long time in his recruitment, been pretty ever present. He's got a lot of close connections in Baton Rouge, both on that coaching staff. The hire of Mason Smith was huge to get him to commit in the first place. He's got great relationships with Terrence Wells and some of these other guys. And so I think the Tigers are going to continue to push a high-level talent in this 2022 class here. I mean, just a few miles down I-12, and that it's going to be tough for him to pass up on. But they have a little bit more of a battle at this point going into the fall with the Aggies and company than they would have liked.
Jerit, keep up the great work, man. We'll see you around LSU practice, and it's great to hear from you. We'll touch base again soon.
Always, man. Appreciate you. Have a great day.
Yeah, man. There is Jerit Roser checking in this morning from Tiger Details. You can find him on Twitter at Jerit Roser. Read all the work with Julie and Jerit. over at Tiger Details. They do a magnificent job in just covering the sport and covering recruiting in general. We will take a break, come right back. We'll have Will Wade here, and we'll get Coach Wade's thoughts on the NBA draft, on some of his guys and where they fit in now on Summer League. Cam had 17 last night in his debut with the Brooklyn Nets. We'll ask him about how he likes the fit with Cam Thomas up there, playing alongside Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So a lot to get to with the general here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We're daily. We are brought to you by A-Bear Specialty Meats. Remember, get over to A-Bear Specialty Meats today, Prairieville and in Baton Rouge. Jefferson Highway here in Baton Rouge and off of Highway 73 right there at the Dutchtown Shopping Center in Prairieville. Stop in and see them. Shop the freezer, whatever you're looking for. Home of the famous stuffed chicken, the D-Bone stuffed chicken. Stop in and grab one if you need something quick for the week with the kids back in school. You want to throw that in the oven tonight for an hour and a half. You'll have something to chew on for the next couple of days from A-Bears. They've got great selections in the freezers. They've got lunch specials over on Jefferson Highway if you want to stop in and see them. A-Bear Specialty Meats brings you the Jordy Culotta Show every single day here. We'll come back and talk to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculottashow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Appreciate Jay Cicero, Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation president, stopping by, and then Jerit Rosa talking some basketball. Looking forward to our next guest, just like every single time we invite on the LSU head basketball coach. Looking forward to the information we'll get from head coach Will Wade as we bring him into the conversation here on this Tuesday morning. Boot up, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing good. 17 last night for Cam Thomas in his summer league debut. A lot of people in what we're reading.
Actually, it got changed to 19. His agent texted me late last night. They got the NBA to change it because They didn't count. He got a goaltending and one
Wow.
in the third quarter, and they didn't count it.
How about that?
His agent texted me at 11 o'clock last night that they'd gotten the NBA to change it to 19. So how about that?
So 19 in the debut for the freshman out of LSU. How do you like the fit there with Brooklyn next to the All-Stars?
I mean, I like it. I thought he did some good things yesterday. He rushed his first couple shots, the open threes, and I think he'll make those tomorrow. And I thought he played very, very well for his first time out, first time in summer league. I think he was of all the rookies, I think he was the third leading scorer in the first games behind Jalen Green and Jalen Suggs, who were both top 5 picks. I think they were 2 and 5. And then Cam was the third leading scorer. So I thought he played really well.
Yeah, he had 10 in the fourth. He had 10 in the fourth last night, which is kind of his MO. Once he got going, man, he could feel it. How about Javonte and Trendon? I thought Trendon had 4 in his debut, 4 and 4 boards, and then Javonte really had a nice night, an opening night, but he's been a little inconsistent on the start. But seems like he's in a really good spot down in Miami.
Yeah, Javonte's played really well. Trendon, I thought Trendon played really well. They played him as a small ball 5 the entire game. The Trailblazers did, and so he's very effective from the 5, being able to make plays and things of that nature. So he's got another big game tonight, and then Javonte plays again on Wednesday as well. So I think they've all played well. I thought Skylar played well in his first game. And so, I think it's been a good start for those guys.
You were down in the green room, or you were up in the green room for the NBA draft. What was that experience like as a head coach? I know that you've done it before, but just being there with one of your star players, what was that night like?
Man, that's the first time I've been at the table. It was interesting. It was a fun night. I appreciate Cam and Leslie, including me and asking me to be there. But it was a fun night. Anytime you can watch one of your guys reach their goals, that's really, really cool. So I was excited then, and I'm actually going out to summer league tonight. I'm flying out to Vegas later on tonight, so I'm going to be able to watch Cam and Javonte play tomorrow, and Cam and Trendon tomorrow, along with Javonte, Sky, and Cam on Thursday. So I'm going to be able to watch them all play on Wednesday and Thursday out there. So looking forward to just going out there and seeing them and spending time with those guys some more.
Did you get the feel in the pre-draft process that Brooklyn was a viable spot for Cam? I mean, in communication, did you see that could be a landing
we pretty
spot?
much knew. We pretty much knew that was that was the floor, so to speak, that they were going to take him if he was there. They didn't think he would be there, and there's a lot of things, a lot of things broke against Cam on draft night for him to get to Brooklyn at 27. There's a lot of things that happened that were not anticipated and pushed some of the 2 guards back and really moved him back. But I think he ended up in a great spot. I think going into the process, when they did an evaluation of the teams, Cam and his agent and his mom, Brooklyn was the one that made the most sense. Now that nobody thought it would end up in Brooklyn, but that was the one that everybody thought made the most sense. And so Cam was very excited about that.
Seems like your team building Tuesdays, or at least the social media that has been coming out from your group, whether it be the paintball, whether it be the cooking sessions, whatever it is of them spending time together, that this team is very close heading into training camp when you guys get going in October. What has been the thought behind that, and how do you like the chemistry of this team here in the offseason?
Well, we stole a video guy from Alabama, Garrison, who's done a really good job with that stuff. He just started working for us a couple weeks ago. And Emily and Garrison in that department, that's an area that we're trying to ramp up. Stephanie and Matt and Emily and Garrison and everybody, it's an area we're trying to improve in with our social media stuff. That's not really my forte. Right. So we went and hired some people that are pretty good at it, and Jake's been helping with it, and so I'm glad the stuff's come off well. But I think it's gone well. I think we've got we're going to challenge blending all these new guys together, and I think I think everything we've done has really helped with the paintball and the wiffle ball, the cooking, obviously the conditioning stuff that we do. I think it's all been very beneficial. And then on the weeks in between, we do like a classroom session where Bruce, Bugs, one of our psychologists who works with our team, and myself, we teach lack of a better term, a leadership class and go over some leadership things. And we did an NBA draft with the guys, and we just do some different unique stuff with the team. And I think it's helped. I think it'll help our guys. I think it's helped our guys get to know each other better and be more comfortable around each other. And I think we'll see the dividends of that as we start off early in the season.
Hell yeah. Will Wade takes another one from Nate Oates. That's a great storyline in the offseason. Hell yeah. Got a listener question asking about Xavier. No, go ahead.
You said it. I didn't.
Yes, I did. Xavier Pinson got a question in the bunker asking about him. We've heard a lot about some of these guys that you've got in the offseason. Where is the transfer guard from Missouri fit in, and how's your evaluation of him after seeing him in the facility now?
He's put on 16 pounds this summer.
Wow.
He looks like a totally different player. I've been extremely impressed with X. I think he's done a great job. He probably, he has improved as much as anybody in our program over the course of the summer. He's got some great leadership to him. One of our returners who's probably improved, who has improved the most, is Mwani Wilkinson. And he's an offensive threat now. You're gonna have to guard him. And part of that is X gets up at 6:30 in the morning. He's the first one in the gym to work out, and him and Mwani are roommates. He's been bringing Mwani with him for the last probably 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
He made Mwani come in the gym with him in the mornings, and so X is just an extremely hard worker. He loves basketball. He's a basketball junkie. He's always watching film. He's always texting me about things. And he's working out 2 and 3 times a day, and he does 2 weight workouts a day. He's very locked in and very motivated, and he's been phenomenal. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us, and it's translated to his play on the court. But he's got his body in shape. He's shooting it really well. He's shooting it like he did his freshman year when he shot over 40%. So I think he's going to have a huge year for us.
More on Mwani. Where do you want him going from year 1 to year 2? Because his athleticism is, it jumps off when you watch him play as far as refining him as a basketball player.
Yeah, there's 2 things we've talked to him about. One is just being an offensive threat, and I think he's taking care of that. He's making threes. He's driving to the basket. He's still doing the cutting and all the things that he needs to do. But we talked about being an offensive threat. And then 2, the second biggest area is defensive rebounding. We can't play 3 men that don't defensive rebound. And, your 3, your biggest wing, your big guard, whatever you want to call it, has to be a great defensive rebounder. And we were not very good in that area last season. And so we've really challenged him. He's a great offensive rebounder, but we've really challenged him in all of our 3s, whether it be him and Fudge and Eason, who's played some 3 for us, and Brandon Murray, whoever it may be, we're going to play with somebody who's defensive rebounding, because we've got to get some rebounding from that spot. And so really with Mwani, it's been the defensive rebounding portion and just becoming an offensive threat.
I've heard you say the same thing that you just mentioned about Pinson, about a couple of your players. I remember you telling us here that Adam Miller shows up voluntarily every single day. He's getting his work in at the same time, Monday through Sunday. You say the same thing about Pinson. He's packing Mwani Wilkinson along with him. It seems like you got a group of leaders right now. You got to like those boxes they check off from a leadership standpoint, right?
Yeah, I like our group. Look, we don't maybe have the star power that we've had, but we've got, this is more my type team. We've got we're blue collar. We're very coachable. They want to learn. They want to be great. They're about all the little things. Don't get me wrong. Now we got good talent. We got very good players. Don't get me wrong on that. Now we've got a very good talent. But where we've kind of had 3 or 4 guys, and then there's been a pretty drastic drop off as we go down. We've got 8 or 9 guys that are all fairly even, and we're going to play quite a bit harder. We're going to be a lot tougher, a lot scrappier. So I like the way of our team, the way of our guys for sure. They're blue collar, they work hard, they're in the gym all the time. They're about the right stuff, and so it's been fun to coach them this summer.
Nick Saban made a comment in front of a Texas High School Coaches Association about an NIL deal that his quarterback had, and a lot of people thought that was a calculated comment about recruiting. How have you used that in recruiting, and how have you seen NIL affect your team up to this point?
Well, I mean, I've just left it to the guys. They can go, the free market, baby. Whatever you can get, go get. So, that's capitalism 101. But, I mean, we've left it up to our guys. I've heard through the grapevine our guys have gotten some pretty good stuff. Some of the guys are pretty excited. But most of it's been, they'll send you a chain and you take a picture with the chain and post it on Instagram and stuff like that. I think a lot of it's been some of that stuff. Some of our guys have gotten some money for signing autographs and doing some things like that. But it's been, I think it's good. I think anything that benefits the players is good. So it's been healthy. It's been healthy for us.
Does a full capacity football stadium help you in recruiting? Do you use those weekends to recruit? Has that helped you in the past?
Oh yeah. So anytime football is doing well, we can pack out Tiger Stadium and the atmosphere and everybody's around tailgating and all that. That's huge for us with our recruiting weekend. So we're looking forward to that McNeese game on September 11th.
How's your schedule work up until training camp up to this point? Now that you have your crew closer to class, I know that school starts here in a couple of weeks. How's the schedule?
Yeah, we left campus on Friday, so our guys are off until the 21st. They got about 2 weeks off. Now we have quite a few of them that stayed back to work out. Adam and X went back to Chicago and played in the summer league this weekend. X will be back this week. And Wani went home to Vegas. I'm actually going to see him when I'm out in Vegas for summer league. I'm going to get with him and his parents and sit down with those guys. So some of those guys have spread out a little bit, but we've got probably half of our guys are still here. Days is here, Epton's here, Jarrell Colbert's here, Tari Eason's here. X will be back. So we have a bunch of the guys here that are still doing some stuff voluntarily here. And then, once we get back to 21st, school starts the 23rd. We'll have a short preseason and then get right into preseason. And we can start practice midway through September, a little bit middle to end part of September.
Safe travels to the desert, Coach. We'll see you when you get back. Boot up.
That's good. Thanks for having me on, guys. Boot up.
Yes, sir. There he is, Willie Wade, checking in this morning with a lot of good stuff to say there about his team, bro. I mean,
he said it himself too. These are my kind of guys,
exactly,
and I feel like that's what he put together.
So you can hear how excited he is when he talks about him.
Yeah.
The Pinson
16 pounds,
16 pounds of muscle
every morning,
up getting his shots in every single day. Look out for Mawani.
But he wasn't thinking
because Mawani to me was a football player with a basketball uniform on. You know what I mean? Like he was, in my opinion, he was probably like a top 10 athlete on campus last year. Just like athleticism. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like go run, jump, and catch this. Like I can do all of that. Whatever you want me to do.
2 dribbles.
But like from the basketball skills standpoint, he needed development. Yeah, he was very, very raw. To me, if he's got a jump shot, right, like that is just another key piece of this depth that he's talking about, that he's got these 8-9 guys that you have to choose from. A lot of good stuff on Pinson. Yeah,
just imagine he didn't wake up the first couple of times, and then he was like, all right, if you're going to be awake at 6:30, you're clearly have woken me up. I'll just come with you. Like, you don't roll over and go to bed. If he's doing it 5 times a week, like, I might as well just get up.
Yes.
Right. I mean, Jesus, all right, you're going again?
Yeah, right. He comes back in here at 8:30, man, waking me up.
Right? I feel like shit.
Yeah, right, exactly. Remember, every time Coach Will Wade stops by here on the Jordy Culotta Show, that is brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Phil's is conveniently located over there in the South Down Shopping Center. Stop in and see Anthony, the entire crew over there. Odds are you'll probably see Coach Will Wade when you're in there. He's in there a lot. But great selection of fresh seafood. Great selection of raw oysters, and the best. They've been around forever, man. And every time Coach Wade is here, that is compliments of Phil's Oyster Bar, and Anthony Piazza and the crew. So appreciate Coach for stopping in here on the Jordy Culotta Show as we are driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Give me 1 minute to reset, and we'll get into some of this stuff. One of my favorite features that comes out this point of the year is the Freak List over by Bruce Feldman, as he puts it out every single year. LSU's got a little bit of love on there within the top 10. We will talk about some of the freakiest of college football going into the season. Then we do an all-freak list for LSU.
Ooh,
and maybe a little top 5 freaks.
A little top 5
Sam
freaks.
Howell, number
He's
one.
the freakiest.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell, the Howlitzer. He
Those
is
are
absolutely,
doughboy.
for a man that doesn't eat anything but chicken, it must only be fried chicken because he is massive.
It's
He
the
looks
sauce-
like
it's the sauce against them.
He is a fat-faced
he looks like a flag football
coach.
over 25-year-old
Cigarette
lead.
in
Yes.
cigarette in the huddle.
He sure does not look like a draft pick that you would take over Derek Stingley Jr.
Junior.
I mean, by any means. The Freak List from Bruce Feldman over at The Athletic when we get back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.com to learn more. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Every year, Bruce Feldman puts out a freak list in college football, the freakiest college football players in America. This year, he does 101 of them. LSU's got 2 on the list. That's hard to believe that LSU's only got 2
That is hard to
A little
believe.
low.
of 101 players in college football. If there was 2 on the list, who's the 2 you're guessing? Because everybody knows who the 2 are.
Stingley for sure.
Yeah, Stingley's in at number 9. Derek Stingley, he's got him at 9. And then the second player, does everybody know who it is?
You just said it.
Yes. It's Damone Clark, who's at 52. But Stingley at 9 is detailed and described as, in 2018 at the opening in Dallas, the 5-star cornerback measured 6'1" and 193 pounds. He clocked 4.3 flat
Oh my God.
and jumped 42 inches to go with a 4.28 shuttle. That pretty much cemented his freak status.
I can imagine so.
And he's backed that up in recruiting. He backed up the recruiting hype with stellar play in his 2 seasons. Stingley now weighs 194, and he hasn't tested in those events recently, but a source very close to him said he's faster and more explosive than he was back then and is very confident he will top those numbers when he gets to the NFL Combine. He's going to blow people's minds when he tests.
What do you think?
Wait, a source very close to Bruce Feldman?
That's got to be.
Who could that be?
It's got to be senior, right?
Right.
Yes,
Or,
yes,
oh.
absolutely.
What do you think
No,
his vert
it's
is now?
senior.
45?
I would say he probably jumps 45. I don't know how much faster he can get than 4.3 flat. I mean, if he's putting on muscle,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It would almost be that he's either maintained that speed. He hasn't dropped a step. He's just probably playing a little heavier. He's lost, but Coach Tommy Moffitt says and tells Feldman at The Athletic, he's lost 11 pounds from last year. He's committed himself to being as lean and as fast as he can be. It was an incredible challenge of how lean he already was. He's a super disciplined young man.
Sounds like he wants to play
Tommy
offense,
Moffitt.
trying to slim down to play both ways.
You're not going to give it up.
No.
Until
You're really not.
he plays it, you're not going to give it up.
Until he catches a
Damone
touchdown.
Clark at 52 is described as, he made our list last year after clocking a 4.5 in the 40 and benching 4.05 while weighing 245. He's down to 241, but has added more than 20 pounds on his power clean to 374 and has upped his squat to 605 pounds. His body fat is down to 10%. He weighs 245 and he's got 10% body fat. The Tigers are hoping Clark. I mean, dude,
I've got
that is like a
90%
piece
body
of
fat.
granite. The Tigers are hoping Clark can take his game to the next level as they look for more consistent play on a revamped defense. Now, I'm not here to dump on Damone Clark's play last season. He's got to improve. Everybody in the listening audience knows that if you watched LSU play last season. As far as a physique guy, you want to be in Damone Clark's crew if you're down at the beach. If nothing else, just for, the attention that you would just get from people walking up to you.
He's first team
I'd
don't
imagine,
fuck with.
yes,
Yes.
100%. 100%.
You wanna be
he
in
looks
the-
like Apollo Creed off of Rocky, which is a very late reference. So Happy Gilmore, he's Chubbs, which he's still kind of, you can see the physique under the polo. But not,
that's post
turn on Rocky 1 through 4 and check out Apollo Creed, and Damone Clark looks identical to him physically. He's got to get better on the field, though. He's got to get better on the field.
He could play shirtless.
He would be an all-star. He would be an all-American.
First team off the bus.
Yes, absolutely.
And you say you want to walk next to him on the beach. That sounds awful. You're getting.
I want him in my
residuals.
crew. I want him in my crew
Yeah, he
for
didn't say
sure.
he wants to
I've
walk
got no
next to him.
problem. I've got no problem with not being the guy, bro.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean-
no, but you're not that guy, pal. I'm not that
No,
guy, pal.
I'm not that guy, pal.
But that gets the eyeballs.
No,
And
I'm
then
playing
he's-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Did y'all see Damone?
That's my boy.
You know what I mean? Did y'all see Gabe Miller?
Yeah, it's like the
You
entourage.
know what I mean?
I'm
Oh, y'all are here to see Gabe,
Yeah.
right?
It's the entourage. Like,
Exactly.
Vince ain't coming down here, baby.
Yeah, right. That's right.
You're
Vince
the
has been
guy.
upstairs for 2 hours.
He's not coming
Yeah,
down.
right. He's up there with your best friend and your cousin.
Catch a little turtle.
I mean, what are we eating?
You're the duck. The
Yes.
duck of the group.
So number 9 and number 52 on the list for LSU and the freakiest of players. Number 1 on the list, a couple of big name guys or big school guys. Usually, Feldman's got like some, like some Conference USA, some American Athletic like he finds the dudes on this list, but number one is, my God, Evan Neal, Alabama's left tackle, 6'7", 350 pounds. He's got a video of Neal doing a box jump.
Can you put that on there?
I have it. It's courtesy of Alabama football. I hate to say it, but you know, watch out, YouTube. I know where I got it. Okay.
It's crazy.
And it is just incredible that this guy is this large and jumps up off the ground and pretty much does a split landing on these boxes.
I
mean, you would shred every single tendon in your leg.
I mean, pork.
Yes, absolutely. You would have
a chicken bone
just shredded. You would be. You couldn't walk for a year.
If they asked
Look
you,
at that.
If they asked you to do that or go
Look
to prison,
at this guy.
Oh my God.
I'm going to prison.
He
I'm going
weighs
to prison.
350 pounds, man.
How do you do that?
Yeah,
He's
that's insane.
6'7".
Wow.
I mean, that is a freak move.
It like glitches in midair.
how do you even
He
figure
does.
out that you can do
He
that?
does.
Like, who sets that up? It's like, you know what I can do is a split jump at 40 inches at 360 pounds.
But I mean, listen to some of these cats. Aiden Hutchinson is number 2 on this list. He's the Michigan defensive end. He's 6'6", and he benches 225 pounds 39 times.
Stop.
I mean, you know how strong that is, man.
And
I'm trying to find the freaky numbers on.
do you think that we don't even see Derek Stingley test, huh? He doesn't go to the combine. We won't have to.
I think he does just to do
Just show
so.
off?
Yeah, right. I
Like,
mean,
it can't go wrong.
Like Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I'll jump.
We'll probably do pro day. I would
Yeah.
imagine he'd do an LSU pro day.
Jamar
Chase
Chase was ridiculous.
Yeah. Let me show up in a backwards hat, run 4.3, jump 42 inches.
Rep 25 times.
And let me get out of here. Y'all have fun.
All right, smelly boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Y'all miss me?
Yeah, that's right. Did you doubt that I was going to be in the top 3?
Yep. Nope.
So who's the 5 freakiest at LSU? Obviously, Stingley's one.
Are we saying on the roster right now?
On
or
the
all
roster
time?
right now, no, not all
I
time.
wanted to ask Will Wade,
time.
who was on for basketball. He would say some most athletic.
Right now? I'd say
Well,
Wilkinson. I would think that Wilkinson would be up there. Sharif O'Neal would probably
Without a
be up
doubt.
there.
Are we talking all athlete or all body?
I mean, I'm just going freak. Like, just
Stuff like that?
like the Stingley thing. They
Yeah.
tell you give him a golf club, he hits it 300 down the pipe. You ask him to go play pickup basketball, he's usually the best player on the
Windmilling.
floor. You hit him a baseball and he's playing center field. He can track it just as good as LSU starting center fielder. Right, he can track it like DiGiacomo. You know what I mean? You put him on the track and field surface, he's probably going to be the fastest guy out there. I mean, you put him on 7-on-7 in the summer, he's the best wide receiver out there. He's just a freak. I mean, wherever you put him, you bring him bowling, he'll probably bowl 280. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know what he can't do. I mean, you think of somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very
First one that comes to mind.
extreme example. But
John
I mean,
Trey Kirkland.
John Trey Kirkland is
Played
probably on that
quarterback,
list,
played
yes,
wide receiver,
absolutely.
probably could play corner, can return
He could
punts.
play DP.
I would
Just
imagine
put
he
Trey
can-
Palmer.
Yes.
Who's the most athletic person to come through LSU? Pat Pete.
Yes. Yes. Without a doubt.
Not without a doubt, but not without a doubt. I mean, but yes, I mean he's definitely
You're sold on
he's
that
definitely
one.
on the,
Look at
Yeah.
his face.
he's definitely on the top of the list. But I mean, Odell Beckham. You know,
I mean, Odell's faster, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
when you
like-
talk about
100
free,
yards.
Right, so now
Yeah.
y'all are going all time?
Pat Pete, yeah, this is just transformed. But Patrick Peterson's
all
like a
over
scratch
the place.
golfer. Like he can
exactly.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you teed one up for Odell Beckham, he hit it right down the pipe.
Oh yeah, Odell and his soccer stuff, and he's got
Yes.
God.
Well,
What gun did he have?
I mean, but I'm just, I mean, like we're picking
chest.
straws here. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, what I mean, we're nitpicking. You know, I mean, you take Pat Pete, I'll take Odell. We'll play, you know, or give me Pat, and I'll, you know what I mean? It
I'll
doesn't
take
matter.
Jarvis.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, Jarvis Landry's definitely on that list. I mean, Jarvis Landry could have played Michael Clayton, could have played safety, wide receiver, quarterback. Corey Webster, freaky athlete, freaky. You know what I mean? Like I've seen Corey Webster just pick up a ball sitting on a court, him no stretch, no nothing, pick it up, put it behind his back, and yak it. You know what I mean? Just,
How do you do like what?
just like, damn.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
my phone.
right? Absolutely. I thought I could play college basketball. Dumbass me. You know what I mean? Like,
Woke up so early.
right. Ben McDonald. Ben McDonald was a starting power forward on LSU's basketball team in '87. He was the first pick in the Major League Baseball draft in 1990. I mean, he could have been the punter on the LSU football team. I mean, that's freaky stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, you talk to John Brady about the Ben McDonald basketball recruit, and he's like, I mean, shit. We were trying to do everything we could to get him at Mississippi State. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they were prioritizing him. You know, Ben McDonald is an SEC basketball recruit. Dude was the #1 pick in the Major League Baseball draft, and he could have been a punter on the football team. You know, I mean, like, that's athleticism that I don't get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. You know what I mean? And I'm fairly athletic. But, I mean, to think that somebody can just put on a football helmet, a baseball uniform, or a basketball uniform and go be elite at all of that is pretty damn impressive,
It
man.
is.
That's why the freak list, I guess, only has 100.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to find the people that can do all of those things because they are few and far between.
Just to touch the field, like when me and Noah were following the football team, we didn't even know who these kids were, and they're like Under Armour All-American football. I'm like, I thought this kid was a scrub.
No, there ain't no scrubs out there.
Just
cuz.
clean and like 300.
Yeah.
No, that's just why, like, you know, you think of some of these guys that are sitting and watching.
And they can't believe it.
Yeah, right. I mean, they've never done that in their life. I mean, a lot of these guys that are not playing at LSU, I mean, they've been the star on their every team. Not
Cardell Thomas out of high school would be on this.
Cardell Thomas would probably be on the freak list coming out of high school.
Jordan Tolles.
Jordan Tolles, Spencer Ware, if we're going all time.
He played baseball.
yeah.
Jared Mitchell.
Yeah,
Spencer Ware played baseball?
Yeah.
center fielder.
Jesus Christ.
I want to say that Spencer Ware was drafted out of high school in baseball.
He was. Mo Hampton would have been on this list. I'd
Mo
imagine
Hampton.
if we're going athleticism alone.
Mo Hampton for sure.
I don't know why y'all are going. It started off just current roster, I thought.
I know.
Oh,
we are.
summertime.
We are.
Moved kind of to basketball.
We're
Then
dancing
kind of
all over the
time.
floor.
We are.
Stepping on everybody's toes.
You know how athletic
Yes.
LSU is.
Sports show. It's
All
on
right,
CNN.
Back to
Katie.
the current roster. Current roster. I've got #1. I've got Derek Stingley. #2. I've probably got John Trey Kirkland.
Over, Kayshawn?
I don't know I haven't seen Kayshawn do anything but play football. I'd imagine he's great, but putting it all together like
He
John
needs to
Trey.
win.
It
room.
seems like it would be a sneaky, freaky athlete on this team would be Andre Anthony. Like,
Coach?
huh?
The coach.
Well, what's the coach's
you're
name?
Andre Carter.
Andre Carter.
He's been there long enough.
I mean, Andre Anthony's been there for 6 years.
The GA.
Yeah. But Ali Gay, I guess, would probably have to be on that list.
Yeah, because you want to go like rangy, like
Yeah, defensive end.
ends.
BJ Ojulari to me
Yes.
is probably the one you look at in that group right now. Like, Gay would be your first pick at defensive end. But if you're projecting, you're probably looking at Ojulari and saying he's probably got the highest ceiling out of
Gonna
all
be
of
him
them.
times 2.
Yes, he could be a top 10 pick. You know, I mean,
Kayshawn ran a 4.3 in high school. 4.37. They don't have his vertical. I want to find his vertical.
did he play? Was he a dual sport athlete? Like, was he a basketball player?
Let's see
Was
his
he a
huddle.
I know Tolles was.
no?
because-
Toll. I mean, Tolles has a spot on the basketball team.
He was that good?
Yeah, so I mean, like, they recruited him both as a basketball and a football player, and I mean, football and basketball worked together in recruiting him.
Vertical's 38 for Kayshawn, so yeah.
To 38.
I don't know if that makes the all freak
Yeah,
list.
right.
Got to hit those 40s.
Would Stingley jump?
42.
42, and he says he's going to test higher in all of these. I don't know what's higher than.
You gotta ask Tommy Moffett this question.
Yeah.
Like, who's the biggest freak?
John Quav says Marcel Brooks, and he was freaky.
He was gonna be awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, he was. I bet he wishes he was still here. And I mean, like, who am I? I don't even know that. I don't even, I have
Well, no,
idea.
but
I mean, you know,
but they-
I've not spoke to that guy ever in my life.
I bet you miss us, don't you?
Yeah, right. He misses us, no doubt.
But he did play 3 different positions at LSU. He played linebacker, he played defensive end. He went to TC. No, he's playing wide receiver. So
Right,
that's the
right. You just
definition of
can't
a freak.
like Jacoby Stevens.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, like, he played everywhere but anywhere. You know what I mean? The first 3 years, they just tried to play like get this guy on the field. Get him on the field somewhere. Just put him out there. Kendall Beckwith. Remember that guy?
Oof.
I mean, dude, I remember Neil Weiner was the head coach at Zachary, and they had to play him like all 4 years, and they called him the Beast from the East because he was at East Feliciana.
What a name.
I mean, dude, asked Charles Hannegriff, and we used to do on radio. We used to call it the Country Legends Game of the Week, because before 104.9 was moved over and combined with 104.5 ESPN, like that was 104.9 used to be a standalone station, and it was a Country Legends station. They would play old
Really?
country music, which is a phenomenal station, dude. I love it. But we used to do and Catholic High, Moscona would do Catholic High football on ESPN. And I saw the money Moscona was making on Catholic High, and I mean, I looked around, I'm like, we need to do a game on another station. So I'm like, let's do the Country Legends Game of the Week. And the first game we did on that was Zachary and East Feliciana, and Charles Hannegriff was my color commentator, my partner that night. And whoever was there was somebody that was supposed to do it with me weekend, might have been Panamsky, week in, week out, but he couldn't make it that night. And Charles Hannegriff sits in there, and I'm like, Charles, they're talking about this guy Kendall Beckwith like he is the truth. I mean, he seems like he's the superstar on the field. So, you know what I mean? Like, we'll probably predominantly be talking about Beckwith the entire time, so familiarize yourself with him. So we show up, and Beckwith, no shit, is the quarterback for East Feliciana.
Oh my God.
He's the kicker. He's the punter. He returns punts. He is the linebacker on defense, the starting linebacker on defense.
Iron Man.
And he did something else that Hannegriff was like, I mean, at halftime, you know, like he had this, it was the first time I had ever heard it. And I mean, I've heard it 100 times since, but I mean, I laughed. I thought it was so funny because he was like, all Kendall Beckwith hadn't done in the first half is make the hot dogs. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was like, Kendall Beckwith drove the school bus here, he drove the team bus here, got off, he's thrown for 300, got 14 tackles. This is in the first half. They take him out, the game goes to overtime. And it was a shootout. It was a shootout. I hope Coach Weiner, somebody catches me and can give me an idea of when this, and just this, because it was a instant classic game. Like, we're like the Boston are like, this is great. You know what I mean? This is fantastic. I mean, because we're like screaming into the microphone. You know what I mean? Like, another Zachary touchdown! Oh my gosh! You know, like, I mean, Hannegriff's going nuts. I'm going nuts. We're staying. You know, like, you can hear that. Just a great local broadcast.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like one of those Friday nights where you're like, I'm listening to this.
So, yeah, except for some trucker who was like trying to get his country. He was like, what the hell are these two folks doing?
East Feliciana and Zachary. What the hell am I listening? You know,
I'm from West Feliciana.
Yeah, right.
Get this crap off my radio.
But I mean, so Beckwith, they end up getting beat. They end up Zachary beats East Feliciana by 1 point because they went for 2 at the end of the game, and Beckwith got hurt on the touchdown and had to come out of the game. Like, they were out of timeouts.
No.
That's an Hannegriff streaming into the mic. Like,
We can't kick
yes,
either.
He can't do anything. They're dead man walking. They're dead man. And like Zachary's like, get on the field. Get on the field. Run QB sneak. Just run it right up the middle. You know what I mean? Like, he's off the field. He's off the field. Finally, he's out of the game. His stat line, I'm telling you, his stat line was so stupid. He threw for like 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had like 15 tackles and and like a pick 6. He hit a field goal from like 35 yards out before half. He had a punt return to set him up late in the game. It was just like, my God, this guy it was 11-on-1.
Yeah, and he was winning.
And Hannegriff was in his element. You know what I mean? Like, Hannegriff's just calling local high school football, and he's giving you great one-liners, and he's giving you great history reports on, like, Zachary athletes and East Feliciana athletes, and the whole time he's like, this guy Kendall Beckwith is amazing.
Sign him
Les
now.
Miles, if you miss this guy, you should be fired. I mean, just because it was LSU, Alabama. You know what I mean? Like, at that, Beckwith was... I mean, he was a big-time guy.
I know that he didn't play for his first, like, freshman, sophomore
Well, they
year.
couldn't find a spot for him.
Well, Jacob Cicero was running around out there. We
No,
looked
it
a
was
little
DJ
lost.
Welter.
DJ Welter, that's who it was.
The bunkers call him for Chad Jones. Didn't he play football?
Oh,
in
Chad
baseball?
Jones was a star.
Wow.
He played
What a
both,
mess on our
right?
Yes.
part.
Both.
Both.
We had that same problem whenever I was in high school. Nick Jacobs, do you remember him? He
Yes,
went to LSU.
big tight end.
He played for Manny, and we were a 2A Catholic white school. And
Yes.
boy, was he licking his lips whenever he
Right.
saw us get off the bus.
Right.
He played kicker.
Right. About to go from a 4-star to a 5-star tonight, boys.
I'm going to kill a kid. It was me.
the mullet.
He
Right.
played kicker, he played defensive end, and he played tight end, and he was unstoppable. He kicked with the old, do you remember the old, like, flat toe shoe?
Oh, wow.
And so he would kick
Straight on?
Straight on, toe poked it, and it would go as far as anybody that can kick a football in high
Just
school.
deep into the night.
And then, but he would kick the shoe off, run down with one shoe on,
No.
and was leading the
way.
charge
No.
down the field. And we saw it, we were like, we're
Fair
done with
catch,
that.
bro. Yeah,
You know,
right.
punted and did the same thing. Like, this is a disaster.
Wow.
He was so good. Anytime they needed to play, bloop, 84, throw it to Nick Jacobs, and he would get you 25, 30 or score.
What a cheat code.
It was.
Devin White, freaky athlete, high
Imagine
school.
him in high school.
I mean, he was a top
Holy
running back in the
shit.
state. He spent a year and a half at LSU taking running back reps. I mean, finally, Frank Wilson had to be like, Devin, do you want to be a millionaire? Do you want to guarantee generational money? Then you need to go play on the defensive side.
Probably had to do that behind Les's back.
Yeah.
I'd love to give him the rock 40 times.
Looks like a punter, Frank. Stupid ass.
And Jamar Chase, pretty good receiver.
Yeah,
Defensive back, though.
yeah, right. Definitely looks like a safety.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like a
He
safety.
doesn't need the ball in his hands 50.
He'll be the Bolitnikoff and be a top 5 pick, you stupid ass.
Don't see it.
You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Glenn Davis was freaky. Glenn Davis was freaky,
I
man.
bet he could jam it.
Keem says, I saw Big Baby playing running back at U-High, and I've never seen anything like that in my life. I'm telling you, when he called toss sweep and would get outside, there were kids laying down in open field. You know what I mean? Like, business decision. This is a life choice. I don't care that much about football.
It's
You know what I mean?
it's the
Like, I'm going to be a Sigma Chi next year, for God's sakes, man. I'm
cheering for
bailing
him.
out on this thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to get him hurt. Yeah, right.
God forbid he trips over me.
Exactly. I'm looking out for LSU's basketball's best interest.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, Dylan Moses.
Yeah.
I mean, the early Dylan. Keelan Moses, his brother right now, the 8th grader at U-High, looks like a senior in high school running against little kids. I mean, it looks like Shaquille O'Neal playing against high schoolers. You know, I mean, it is like he's got kids hanging on his thighs as he's running, like kids dragging their feet,
It looks,
hanging on to his. I mean, like his
For dear
quads.
it's very close to a waiver situation with him.
Yes.
If my son is playing
Absolutely.
against that.
Give me the birth certificate.
Yeah.
We're not kicking this thing off until I see number 5's birth certificate.
Wait, he's in 8th grade this year?
8th
I think I
grade.
saw him play last year.
And looks like
That's
the
cool.
Terminator.
The
The Terminator.
Terminator.
I mean, he's got
Terminal.
the dreads, yes. Terminally dead
Yes.
is what you would be. I mean, me, a 40-year-old.
Oh, yeah, he would. Oh, my God.
He'd run straight through
They're
me.
big.
Yeah, he's scary.
Huh?
That kid already has to have stubble.
Oh, dude,
Chest hair.
absolutely. I mean, he's got
hat.
LSU Bama offers right now. You know what I mean? Like, he can hand pick his college where he wants to go. But his brother was the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, his brother was just like that. I mean, Dylan in 8th grade, you know, people were like, "Oh my God, he's gonna kill somebody."
Yes.
I mean, he could kill a kid. I mean, we went to like the St. Aloysius U-High game on a Thursday night at Olympia one time, and they were like buzzing about this Dylan Moses kid. And I remember like a series in, like one of the St. Aloysius dads was like, "I think we got a chance. I think we can get him on the ground. I went down there, took like the Rocky Balboa, Rocky IV, like grab a towel,
Yeah.
go throw it in.
Throw it
This
in.
game is over. A series in, like somebody's gonna get killed tonight."
That's what I'm saying. It's dangerous. It gets borderline dangerous, especially with Moses' little brother. Like, when you watch that
Full
film, it's just, if I saw that, like, hey,
Yeah.
well, bro, we're not playing today.
Yeah, we don't care that much about
we'll
the
check this one out. You
game.
can miss a game. It's
Yeah,
okay.
right, man. We don't care that much about the game.
Your
Like,
life
it's
on
all
the
good.
line.
Yeah, right.
You haven't seen anything yet.
I'm not into this,
Too
man.
young to die.
I'm not doing this. Wow. Bruce Feldman's freak list took off.
Yeah,
Yes.
it really did.
Yes.
It's just freaks in Louisiana, man.
Yeah, they're all over, man. That's why this
They
place
are.
is a premium on recruiting this state. Think about the class of 2022. I mean, think about Quincy Wiggins.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Quincy Wiggins. How
We
freaky
always
of an
think about
athlete.
Quincy Wiggins.
How freaky of an athlete
from
he
coaches,
is.
and they're like, if that's not a 5-star, I don't know what is.
Exactly. I mean,
And he's not even ready yet. Like, he's not even there yet. But, like, when you talk about cats coming to LSU and putting on 15 to 20 pounds.
You know, LSU has them. You know, LSU has him number 1 on their board now.
Better.
Like, they have him as the no, but think about it. I mean, Jacoby Matthews, Walker Howard, Chaz Preston, Emory Jones is high on their board.
Will
Campbell's high on their board. They've got Quincy Wiggins. He's gone from last season, nobody really even knowing who he was, to the early part of this summer, to everybody figuring out who he is, to now on LSU football's board, the number 1 player in the state. And you talk to people close to this stuff, and they think he could be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Like Myles Garrett?
Yes, just like Myles Garrett. Just like Myles Garrett. And they have him so high prioritized and now number 1 on the board. And look, this number 1 player on the board within LSU's recruiting department, it's up for debate every single day. You know what I mean? It's not just Walker Howard's been there, Will Campbell's been there, Jacoby Matthews has been there, Emory Jones has been there, Quincy Wiggins is now there. And when you talk about Quincy Wiggins, think about the position that he plays. Think about the price tag on that in the NFL. Behind the quarterback, defensive end is the highest paid guy on the team, right? I mean, the priority that the next level puts on a guy like Quincy Wiggins.
Imagine Quincy Wiggins doing a swim move to you, break your neck.
Well, and especially with LSU seemingly kind of convincing themselves that they want to run a 4-3. So getting a premium Russian like that is that's why it's probably so high on his board.
Now, look,
you have to get that guy.
You can go back and forth, and it's heads and tails. It's Patrick Peterson and Odell Beckham, whoever we were. I mean, it's picking nits. But I mean, you're talking about Walker Howard, and you're talking about Quincy Wiggins, kind of the tennis match that goes back and forth every day of who's the number 1 player, who's a higher priority. Is the quarterback or the defensive end? Is the guy that you pay to knock that guy out, or the guy that you pay to score all the points and try to elude the defensive end? Who's more of a priority? And you know, for a school like LSU, you're just sitting in a spot of luxury where you've got
both. You've got salary cap.
You've got the best of both worlds sitting in your backyard. I mean, one's in Lafayette in Acadiana Parish. The next one's on Government Street. You know, I mean, like it's. That's the worth of LSU football. I mean, that's why that people look at the LSU job and they say, I mean, it's nearly fail-proof.
Recruiting-wise.
It's nearly fail-proof because of if you just recruit your state and really, like, the southern part of the state. Like, I mean, I know Will Campbell is up there in Monroe. I mean, you got to get him. But really, if you can just draw a fence around New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and get those guys, you know, think about who you'd get. Think about everybody that you'd get by just circling that geographic area right now. Now, Will Campbell is a must get, and he's on top of the board up there. But I'm just saying, you build a fence around Louisiana, and you win 9 games a year. You win 8-9 games a year.
I mean, look at Les.
Yes.
I mean, he didn't even have a game plan, but he was able to recruit, and that's what kept his job for so long. He's like, well, he's bringing in top 5 classes. Like, anybody can do it in Louisiana. You just have to be LSU. It wasn't even him that was recruiting. It was the school that was recruiting itself, and he just happened to not get in the way.
Right. I saw this story over at, I believe it was Lindy's. Was it Lindy's that puts out the magazine that asked the anonymous coaches?
Athlon.
Now, is this Athlon? Now, I am not gullible enough to fall and think that these are anonymous coaches that are being polled and asked these questions. I understand that the periodical world, the magazine world, has been flipped over on its head over the last decade, and they are looking for eyeballs. They are begging for subscriptions. They will do anything, like a crack addict on a corner, doing anything to get a buy, get a click, get a view. So I don't believe that this is probably an anonymous coach from the SEC giving their thoughts on other teams and programs. But it does show you just some of the feelings around the conference, just from a national standpoint, about what other people are thinking about other teams, right? And Athlon, their latest, has their annual segment there where they poll what they call anonymous coaches from around the league and get thoughts on other teams. And when asked about LSU, the quote is this: "This team is hard to understand from the outside." The quote from Ed Ogeron about not interviewing his coordinators before he hired them: "Man, You could really tell that was the truth if you looked at last season. There's a lot going on here with the amount of talent that they turned over and the amount of staff, and then the title hangover and rat poison problems you get after a season like that. But none of that explains how bad the defense was. That was an ego problem between coaches. What you see on film is a unit that's convinced they're more talented and just does not adjust. That is 100% on coaching. When you have a guy like Derek Stingley, a good player, looking so out of position and not getting the calls, that's on the coach. The offense was pretty good, really good, for what they lost in the opt-outs. Pete's is a play at bringing back Joe Brady, honestly. The upside is that he's not going to fit a system over top what they've been doing. Same on defense, really. You have really nice pieces, so it's not about fitting a scheme as it is about creating consistency. You can't have a pass rush without an effective secondary. They just didn't look like they were in sync at all last season. You cannot hide from a lack of continuity, and that's what they've been doing for years. The difference between this program and Alabama is that when they turn over 6 or 7 coaches in a year, the message is the same. The systems are the same, and there are a lot more bodies in the building to keep the kids consistent. LSU has risen and fallen with their assistant coaches and not their head coach. That is what Athlon says about that's what Athlon. What's going on?
I'm sorry. I was just on Twitter trying to find an article, and someone said, Jock Doucette liked it, and it said, I ain't a magician, but I got a couple of Twix up my sleeve. And the guy's got Twix up his sleeve. I blame Jock, okay?
Smoke more pot, Jack.
Yes.
Did you write that anonymous article?
No, but I felt like I did.
It sounds like you did, honestly. As I'm reading over this while you're
the
reading
rat
it,
poison
I'm like,
The rat poison I thought was a little too hard of a tip-off to be a
Yeah.
Saban guy.
Right.
Which I think shows how that this is bullshit. You know
Right.
what I mean?
They're trying
This
to
is-
put a thing in there to make you
Yes.
think this is what a coach would say.
Right. This is some intern at Athlon that is writing up just kind of things that he's reading and hearing.
If you want to see like how much this is probably bullshit, they released them all. There's one on the Pac-12, Big 12,
Yes,
Big Team. They're
right,
like,
right.
how many people do y'all have working at Athlon? How connected is this magazine?
Right, man. You guys are in. Talking to everybody, getting all the scoop.
One poor kid has just worked his fingers to the bone.
But I think it gives you an overwhelming feeling of just the national and the national sense, or at least the regional sense of each school. And you know, like Katie pointed out, it sounds very much kind of what we've been saying here on the Jordy Culotta show. And I think there is that feeling on Orgeron out there of, you know, he's got to have the right people around him, and that was something that he understood when he took the job, when he accepted the job. He said so. You know, that was the big push of keeping Dave Aranda and trying to score Lane Kiffin. And when Lane Kiffin bowed out to get a head coaching job, who's the best big name out there? I don't even know Matt Canada. I barely even interviewed the guy, but he's the one that everybody wants. We got to get him because I want the job. And that's the one that's going to give the most confidence to the people that are making this decision, that I've got good people around me. He understood that. He knows that. That's not news to him. You know, and I think the 2019 success run and the amount of success and praise and accolades and money that came from that was easy to get kind of lost in.
Yeah.
But it's really past time to move on from that. And if Orgeron does not, it could cost him. I said earlier this week, I think the referencing of 2019 as much as they do is almost becoming like a poisonous term, right? Like, everybody knows you can't take 3 feet in that building without seeing some type of representation of a 2019 national championship run, player, award, trophy. Something is always around that is reminding you of the success that team had, which makes a lot of sense. But as far as openly talking about it and openly expecting it, I think that could be a cause for concern. That could be a recipe for disaster, right? I mean, like, it's there. It exists. It lives in the past. move forward, try to either emulate that in the people that you bring in or the plan that you put together, but you're never going to be able to mirror that. You're never going to be able to recreate that. You're never going to be able to find that again. And I'm not referencing Alabama because of what people think I feel about the bro. But you never hear Saban talk about one of his past championship teams other than giving an example of a player for a comp or anything. You're never hearing anything from a coaching standpoint that they're trying to find in the past. Or not. Take Saban out of it. Just think of a successful championship organization, the Patriots, Tom Brady. Somebody that's around
Clemson.
You never hear Brady talk about that 2015 run we had. We're still trying to find the defensive line play like we had there.
Or Falcons come back.
Yeah, anything that it's there. It exists. Everybody sees it. And there's a formula to win into that. Find that formula and drive the ship forward and keep it moving and keep it moving down the river. Because the more you look back and the more you reference that season, the more it feels like trying to recreate that or get that success again is impossible. It's like, it's that now that's the standard.
Yeah.
Right? That not the 15-0 and the Heisman trophies and the perfect season and the offensive record breaking, the record breaking offense that you had. Not that, but championship level performance and championship level team and championship level expectations are the standard. That's what 2019 has created for the fan base. Everybody saw it. Everybody loved it. Everybody wants more of it. Nobody, and I think that there is and there's there is good feels of looking back, but we don't have to do it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, move this thing forward. Talk about what's going to happen once you win another champion. How do you get to the college football playoff again? Not what it took to get there 2 years ago, right? And we all agree, right? We're never going to see Joe Burrow again.
No, so stop the comparison.
You know what I mean? Like to even think that exists. I've been watching LSU football for 30 years, like passionately. 30 years. I can recount years and players and names and coaches, and I've never seen anything like Burrow. Never. Ever. My son is 10. I don't know if he'll ever see a Burrow again. And if he does, it might be when he's 50. And when I'm gone. I just don't think that we can ever expect that type of play from that position again. You can have great quarterbacks come through here. And you might have Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks that come through here. They'll never look like 9 did in 19. They'll never feel like Burrow did that season. He was as much to perfect as you could ever sculpt a college quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is that I agree with what they're saying in that Orgeron understands that it's the people around him that are going to drive the success. When he wanted to start looking for his credit last season, the wheels fell off. He was throwing temper tantrums on the sidelines. He was breaking headsets on national television. It looked like he was almost roid raging on the side. It was scary. The type of anger he had. Yes, just mad that he was. And there has to be an understanding of, look, man, you got to have the right people around you. You've got the budget, you got the resources, you got the recruiting ground, you've got everything that you need to offer to go get the right people. And if you get the formula right, you can do some 19 stuff. You can win another championship. And if you want to be a roadblock or somebody that stands in the way of doing that, it could cost you. And I think that's what Athlon's saying. I don't think that's an anonymous coach in any SEC town. I think that's some writer at Athlon that they depend on to just give them their opinion.
And if you look at 2019, like you said, that's the formula. You emulate it. You don't try to deviate like he did last year, where he goes from Scott Linehan. He got incredibly older.
When you have a chance to keep George Munoz on staff, you don't let him walk to wide receivers coach at Baylor. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think the negotiation on that was? Like $15,000? Your LSU football, pay him 30.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
case
Like,
closed.
keep him. You know what I mean? He's the guy that was recruiting your quarterbacks. He's the one that was communicating with Burrow. He was the guy that was pretty much running the game for LSU. He was the guy, if you look at 2019, there's rarely a TV picture or anything that you can catch Ed Ogeron on where George Munoz is not standing right here and telling him, call a timeout. Don't call a timeout. Make
Clock
this
it.
substitution. Clock it right here. Save this time. Get to halftime. Maybe get a 2-for-1 right here. He's the one that's managing the game. Which, look, I mean, Ogeron will tell you that publicly. I'm not discounting his knowledge of the game. I think it's very smart to have that type of person on staff. You know what I mean? Just to check you. Did you want to call that timeout? Should we call a timeout? Whatever it may be. You just let that guy walk? Because people are saying that Joe Brady was a guy that ran the offense and created the chance. Who cares?
Yeah.
You're the one that's getting the $7 million. So, I mean, I think that has been understood. And if that is understood and accepted, LSU's a championship level team and program. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's a simple little adjustment. It's not like you got to go rehaul and overhaul and I mean, it's just a simple change in mentality. Like, bro, who cares about that credit, man? Only time you need credit is when you go to the bank. That's it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, the people that, that's Burrow and Brady's championship. Oh, okay. I mean, fine. That's fine.
I got a ring too.
I got $7 million from it.
Trophy says LSU
you know what I mean?
on it.
Right.
You know, I'm the one that got $7 million from it a year.
I'm
You know?
cool.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm
That's
good.
fine. Yeah. We can call it Burrow and Brady's all you want. You know what I mean? In fact, that's the name of my yacht. You know what I mean?
Burrow to Brady.
Burrow and Brady's. I mean, it just.
And when you talk about the 2019 thing, he's run out of time to even reference it. You can't be in 2023 and going, well, remember 2019? Like, how many times can you whip this horse?
You're running out of recruiting classes.
Right.
At some point, some people are going to be like, I don't even remember that run. You know what I
What
mean?
are you
Like,
talking about?
When?
I was 12.
When? So,
So
Yeah.
moving forward, that's
Yes,
the way to go.
absolutely.
Last
Keep
year was
it
a
moving.
frustrating year for everybody, so nobody wants to think about that or talk
No,
about
it
last
was.
year. So
It
you kind of
was.
skip
Well,
over
we
it
didn't
and go
start
back
off
to
1-0,
2019.
Katie.
it was. You know, like
No, you didn't.
COVID was great for Pulmonary. I'm talking about Pulmonary's job. The lifeline of Pulmonary's job. It was terrible for Ed Ogeron. You know what I mean? Like, it was horrible for what it exposed and what it.
Well, like you said, if you
It's
wanted
tough.
all the credit, you got to be able to take the things that come with it. Like you said, you wanted the spotlight, you wanted all those options. They're going to be in your life, and
Yeah.
they were in his life, and now he doesn't want that. Like, I would imagine he seems to be, at his core, a semi-private person, and that it all got very exposed.
It
So I would
did.
imagine
Too
that
much
he's like,
to
never
do,
mind, let
too.
me retool, and I'll let LSU football be the brand, and I'll be the CEO.
Yeah, this is the
Nothing
year.
wrong with that.
What tells you that he's private? The selfies?
I feel like that would have never
The
happened.
public pools in New
Yeah,
Orleans
I feel like he was
on
before
Memorial
all
Day
that.
weekend?
He did
If
seem
fame comes
private
quick,
before
fame
that.
comes hot, brother.
What screams privacy from the head coach at LSU?
The shirt off on the beach.
The shirtless jogs in
Yeah.
Destin every weekend.
Well, he used to be able to get away with that.
That's right. It's a defensive line coach.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he knew no better.
Right.
And so now you say you want to be the head coach, you're out there thumping your chest. People are going to recognize you, and guess what? It's not always a good look.
Go Tigers.
All right. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Remember, we are driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Check them out online. Jack's got a great new used car out in the parking lot I saw with the Go Express Auto Sales license plate on it. So
Waiting for Kirby Smart to hit me up.
Oh.
a happy customer from Go Express Auto Sales out there on Florida and Sherwood. Stop in and see them. Go Express Auto Sales and Go Chevrolet. Criminal Minded said Max will be great. I agree, Criminal Minded.
I agree too.
Max Johnson, who's
Max
got a
Brennan.
fantastic, he's got
Do
a
y'all not do
fantastic
that too?
name.
Do y'all not like switch their names?
No.
Come on.
Just so I get the right answer?
Okay.
I meant B and C.
I circled B and
Yes.
Scan
I
drop
know
your
who
bubble
the
in
two
just a little
guys
bit.
are. I do this all the
That's
time.
I'm sure Dave loves that.
I did that to him yesterday. I started saying it. He was like, "Why do you always do that?" I was like, "I don't know. It just like rolls off like that."
Check out Jack's shirt, Louisiana
Boys.
Bad Boys. You can pick that up at Red Stick Sports. Lloyd's got one on too. Shout out to General Wade as he was here today. We've still got our General Wade merchandise here. If you want to check that out, you can shop us on the App Store. You can shop us on the store at jordy.itemorder.com. All of that is accessible through our new website at jordyculotta.show.com. Shout out to Nevadis and Randall Knockman and his crew. Looks fantastic. I love the website. Don't you love
great.
the website?
It is fabulous.
Easy to manage,
It is.
easy to get
Only
around.
get to see the back end.
Only
of
going to
it.
get better.
Do you?
That's what she said.
Oh, okay. Are you managing the back end yet?
Yeah, that's what I do that's how I get the stream going. That's the only part I look at.
Okay.
So if anything happens and that's not on the stream, it's not my fault.
I want to take all these pictures and videos that we're getting from LSU football and develop some type of. Okay. Look who it
Yeah, we are.
is.
Oh no, walk on in.
Yes. That's the vibe of the show.
Yeah.
Look who just walked into the UDL. Put yourself on camera.
Yeah, come on.
Finally, we utilized the middle spot.
That's right.
Warmed it up.
Look who it is.
Hey, look who it is! Hey,
Happy, healthy, and smiling.
Yeah.
Beautiful Whitney Bro. How
Glad
are
to
you?
be here.
Sorry we don't have a microphone for you. We're signing off. All right, have a great Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.